So, the last qualifier is now. Well, it's in an hour. And the qualifier I did earlier today was, well, it was a train wreck. That was supposed to be the qualifier where I go all out and I did all the tricks, all the fancy tricks, and hoped that, because it's a mid-afternoon on a Sunday, got good sleep, all that fun stuff, that, I would be able to hit those kind of things. And then I failed literally every shrine. Is that bombs? Well, you could argue I failed bombs because I couldn't actually get into bombs, so that was a problem. And then I died during the boss rush. It was overall terrible. Oh, and I got loaded gate at Hyrule Castle. That was terrible too. So it was really, really bad. So anyways, the strategy for the final qualifier is, and this was pre-planned, this is basically what I was going to do anyways. I'm going to go with safe. As if Breath of the Wild could ever really be safe. Basically, I'm banning Magnesis Wind Bomb. I can go much faster if I don't even try it. Take some of the pressure off too. It's one more thing that I'm not like tensing up at. I'm not gonna do Walking Wind Bomb. There's no world where I would do Walking Wind Bomb. Unlike the first qualifier where I was like, oh, I'm so far behind, I need to catch up. No, now there's no reality in which I would do Walking Wind Bomb. I hit it twice. I've hit it twice in a row. Even on the terrible run, I hit Walking Wind Bomb, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to run there instead. That saves a Heart of Health, which keeps it safe. And it's just easier. There's literally no risk involved. For a bombs shrine, I'm going to do what I should have done earlier today, which is rather than trying to adjust my timing for the wind bomb based upon how I jump, now I'm going to hit a consistent timing, a consistent visual cue. Makes it less likely for me to get the optimum wind bomb, but it makes it much more likely that I'll hit a wind bomb at all. And that was my problem, both in the first qualifier and in the one today, is I didn't wait too long. What I ended up doing was I did it too early. And it ended up shooting me into the wall, and I had to do bombs casually. It was a huge time loss. So we're just going to do the consistent timing. We're not going to adjust based on jump. And so that takes care of bombs, theoretically. Magnesis, theoretically. Stasis is fairly consistent. I don't know what freaking happened earlier this afternoon, but I pretty much, stasis is fairly easy to get the wind bomb, so I'm still going to do that one. Bombs is easy. I don't have a backup for the door trolling me, but it shouldn't troll me. Maybe that's what I work on, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to overdo it. So there's risk. I think the biggest risk here is going to be the door into bombs. That's gonna, if I can't get the right skew and I can't get into the door, that's might be a problem. I'm going to do safety saves in strategic areas. Plateau, after what Jan told me during the second qualifier, the fact that I could just save in midair if I miss the wind bomb up to stasis, which makes perfect sense. I can't believe I didn't think about that. Save and die. A lot faster than safety saving or even walking. Well, it's not faster than safety saving, but it's faster than walking. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to safety save before the midair wind bomb in castle. And I'm going to safety save, of course, before the boss rush. And I'm still debating on if I should safety save before the wind bomb to the boss rush. And here's the reason why I would do it. if I safety save, if I fail that wind bomb and blow myself up and end up dying, I will be set all the way back to my safety save before the midair, which is a huge time loss. However, the likelihood of me failing that particular wind bomb is pretty rare. It's happened before, which is why I consider a safety save, but it's pretty rare. So it's like, do I add the extra safety save or do I just skip it? And I think I'm gonna go with skipping it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip it. So safety save before midair, safety save before blights. A big change for Calamity. I came up with this brilliant idea, which honestly, it's not a bad idea. That when I shoot bomb arrows in the beginning of Calamity, normally, or my original strategy was to shoot 4 arrows, because after 4 arrows, I arrive at the, what is it? The 2-handed weapon I need to get in Calamity's little area. So I shoot 4 arrows, grab the weapon, and then Calamity starts targeting me with the laser. Sometimes I have to shoot a couple more after that. What I did in Qualifier 2 was I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to shoot 4 arrows and I'm going to stop moving left. And I'm going to spam him with arrows until he brings up the laser. Then I'm going to grab the sword. But in both practice and in Qualifier 2, that kind of backfired on me. Like, the strategy itself worked, but my aim with the bomb arrows was terrible. And that left Calamity with a lot of health. So I think I'm going to do four arrows, grab the sword. I'm going to shoot him maybe once or twice more before he does the laser. I should be able to get headshots on that, especially if he's prepping the laser. Get a little closer to him. And I mean, that's just going to be how it is. The negatives to that is that there's a fairly good chance he goes to the wall before I finish first phase, which isn't the worst thing in the world. As long as I have 2 bomb arrows in my pack, I shoot the 2 bomb arrows, he's off. But the question remains on, like, am I going to get laser in second phase, or is he going to go straight to the wall? I've had it go both ways, roughly evenly, so I don't know. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to revert back to my old strat, 4 arrows, grab the sword, maybe 1 or 2 more arrows, and then laser. And I'm thinking that's safer. It's probably going to be faster, ultimately, too. So that's the strat. That's the strat for Qualifier 4. Shrine of Resurrection, despite the fact that Qualifier 4, Final Qualifier, despite the fact that Shrine of Resurrection went really well in Qualifier 2, I did a couple of like little practice runs afterwards, and Shrine of Resurrection was trolling me again. So I'm definitely gonna hit Shrine of Resurrection. I don't think I'm gonna hit Blights. If I hit Blights, I'm worried I'm gonna psych myself out. So I'm just gonna stay away from the boss rush and prep. I say that. I might just end up doing the boss rush anyways. Likewise, I might just end up grinding plateau a little bit on this new route to get comfortable with it. New, easy route. I don't know. I mean, I might just do a whole run through, but if I do a whole run through, I psych myself out. It's just, it's mind games, man. It's mind games. So anyways, I think I probably will do Shrine of Resurrection all the way to Blights, just because that allows me to practice Blights. So I'll probably end up doing a pseudo run through. And, you know, psych myself out, as I do. I want to do Shrine of Resurrection a couple of times first before I start. Although I have to start in 5 minutes, so maybe I won't be able to do Blights. Unless, nope, not there. Alright, well, yeah, that's how it's gonna go. So yeah, no boss rush practice for me. Oh well. It's fine. It's all fine. It's all good. Like, I'm getting double bops before I do my preps. I don't know what that's about. And then I do my prep and it's ruined. By the way, that was like almost perfectly south was my controller. So I just don't know what's going on with Shrine of Resurrection. Traveling to stasis in my practice earlier today was rough. So maybe I do hit plateau a little bit. I'm so worried that I'm gonna waste all of my good energy. That's so superstitious, and I'm not superstitious. I don't know. I just like, what if I get my one good run before the race? Like, seriously. You know, I'm not bopping at all. There was a double bop in the beginning. So, like, if I approach, and I do this, and I go like this, it'd be really nice if I got a quick entrance. But it's not going to happen. So, what you may not be seeing, because it's hard to see, is I flick my controller joystick to the left when I get in position. That, generally speaking, sets me up. That hasn't been working since Friday. Flicking it to the left seems to like make things worse, and I have to wait for it to get positioned right. So I'm experimenting with just like going straight at it. Maybe take a moment to see what the bops are like. See, that had no flicking. No movement to the left. I just walked up the wall. And maybe that's what I do. I focus on... Because one of the very early things I noticed in Shrine of Resurrection clip is if you hug the right side of the wall, while you're climbing the wall, you'll be in position. Which is why I implemented the move the joystick to the left. Because if you come off that wall, you're going to be out of position, but moving the joystick to the left kind of like wedges you back in. Or at least it's supposed to. So if I could just hug the wall, then there's no prep. Except that was failure. See, that strategy is now not working. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can wait till it double bops, but that's a huge waste of time. Potential time. Like, 5 seconds. I lose 5 seconds waiting for the double bop. Maybe 10, depending upon how long it takes to get. So I don't know. But maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should, like... Just make sure. Instead of trying to rush it. This is supposed to be the safety run, right? So maybe in the safety run, I don't rush it. Maybe in the safety run, I take my time and make sure that I have the right, you know, all the signs are there. So this is what it looks like if I wait for the signs to be there. First, adjust my camera to make it look like, you know, it would be if I was running from the thing. There. There. Took a while, but it wasn't horrible. And to be honest, I started mashing before I was getting the double bops, but I felt like I was where I needed to be to get the double bops. I don't know. We'll see. What's worse is that I feel like I'm getting the double bops like right in the beginning. Like the very first bop is a double bop. And then it just kind of like, I don't know. But of course at the time, my joystick's pointed to the left. I'm not in position, at least I don't think I am. But I'm not here to learn new strategies. I really, like, that's dangerous. You never want to learn new strategies right before a race. You want to refine old strategies. Try new things. See, that was a double bop. That was a very quick double bop. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to flick my controller to the left. I'm going to wait for the double bop. And if you don't know what I mean by double bop, as Link is running, the camera like shakes. And when the camera shakes twice, dot dot, that's the double bop. And when you're getting those dot 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 dot, then you can mash the joystick and it should let you out. All right, I'm going to continue after this, assuming it doesn't go horribly wrong. And we'll just go through mag. I'll go through to... I guess we'll just go as far as we can go. Maybe we'll consider this a practice run. Like, if there's a problem, I'll stop and I'll redo a trick. No big deal. Oh, see, I flicked my joystick just then. I used my old strategy of flicking my joystick. Now, it worked, so yay. It's complicated. All right, easy approach. I'm taking an angle that tends to give me these easy approaches more often. But they're not guaranteed by any means.
Link, dirigiti al luogo segnato sulla mappa della tua tavoletta sceicca.
Yep, I felt it. Something about that angle just doesn't want to work right. So I lose a lot of time here, unfortunately, but I have a pretty good strategy to make sure that I can actually do this trick. If I were to approach it as fast as possible, I tend to get the Bokoblin's attention. But here, I can get the Bokoblin's attention a little later by crouching and jumping, which allows me to do this trick.
Arrived at bombs.
Clean. Other than having to walk around the window, that was clean. The window, though, man, it wastes like 10 seconds, but whatever. So I'm just going to do my normal visual cue. I'm not going to try to adjust based on the jump. And that should get me over the wall. It may not give me an optimum. It could give me an optimum, but it likely won't. Although I kind of just want to experiment with it. My engineer's mind is playing games with me right now. Alright, this might actually get it. Nope. thought I had that one actually. I blew it up a little early, so I did try to adjust, which was a mistake because I adjusted the wrong direction too. But it works out.
Bombs complete.
Oh, hello. Naomi apparently wants to split. Naomi cancel splits. I just don't know what that command is. I gotta look it up. Naomi, stop splits. I'm pretty sure there's an audio feedback if I get the command right, but I don't remember what it is. Yeah, that was very bad. Decent recovery, but the start was just terrible.
Arrived at Magnesis.
Yeah. Naomi splitting again. Right. I just had to click off of it. So this becomes extraordinarily easy the moment you don't try to win bomb. Because I get to keep skew, I can get rid of ragdoll glitch very quickly. It's literally a free shrine if I don't try the wind bomb. And if you compare the times for just doing it like that versus doing the wind bomb, it's seconds difference. It's nothing huge. Because the setup time, the time it takes to set up the wind bomb versus just straight running. And then wherever you land, you have to move yourself to be in line, and it's just a whole thing. That's gonna hurt me. Is it? Can I do this without stamina? I think I can, actually. That's gonna hurt me too. This got really complicated very quickly. I somehow saved that. One of these days I'm going to accidentally blow myself up. Alright, let's test this out, shall we? Where does a save in the middle of the air put me? Exactly where I want to be. Jan, I love you, man. Freaking love him. Like, it stinks that I have to go through a death, which is longer than just a reload. But at the same time, like, I don't have to run. I don't have to make a safety save. It's freaking perfect. This is the wind bomb I'm keeping in. In the qualifier, I've messed it up. And I messed it up because I waited too long to explode. It should be just after the edge of the 5 in my aiming, my crosshairs. There's a little count for your arrows, which is 5 right now. As the crosshairs go closer together, when the edge passes the 5, that's my trigger. Perfect. It's just... Ooh, a hole-in-one, too. I don't know why I'm doing that. Wow. That was such a hole-in-one, I was past the indicator. For some reason, I prepped Walking Wind Bomb. I guess it's just habit. It's not terrible, though, because I do need Square Bomb, so we'll leave it like that. I don't need to re-equip the shield. If I'm not doing Walking Wind Bomb, I don't need the shield. I can do the shield on the climb, but it's irrelevant. As tempting as joyful as Walking Wind Bomb is, because I'm one of the few people who do it, and I'm also one of the few people who saw it as a legitimate trick way back in the days. Oh wow, that's gonna hurt me. Supposed to be. That was weird. Now I have an extra heart. I actually don't know where my... Yeah, I'm not eating that. I think I'm gonna go with peppers for safety food. If I'm gonna... Well, just don't eat. Like, there's no need to eat until I'm in the shrine. This is going really well. Well, I say that. I did die on the... But see, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like when I take it the safe way. I'm not failing big tricks, losing 30 seconds, risking my life. It's just a much more comfortable version of the route. Granted, after we finish Plateau, the route's going to be basically the same as the hard one, so... At least I didn't tilt during my last qualifier. That's just scary. Tilting is scary. So we'll do easy route. And honestly, we'll probably do easy route when we get to head-to-heads too. Because what choice do I have? Like I can't risk failing. I'm not at the consistency I need to be to handle that.
Ooh.
Now I have a lot of safety food. I do not need to grab more. Correct an issue I made during Qualifier and actually explode the bomb. This is like night and day from earlier today. Let's hope that the actual race goes just as well, if not better. Ah, excuse me. Ever since I got bronchitis like a month ago, I just haven't been able to shake it. This right here is another trick that's gonna burn me one of these days. I am very close to speed cap right now. I'm very happy when they spawn because, like, I've had times where they spawn right here because they didn't spawn before and it freaks me out. Am I at speed cap already? Seriously? Surely I'm not. There's no way I got to speed cap that fast. Well, it suggests I did. Joy. Alright, well now I get to practice this, so that's fun. I don't know what I'm doing wrong that's causing them to load. If I lose, it's gonna be because of that. It's gonna be because I don't get unloaded. Seriously? Are you telling me my skew's bad? Surely not. There it goes. Actually. I should just expect not to get unloaded, unfortunately. I can see plateau going amazingly, and then I have loaded entrance. I could see that 100%. I do not know what I'm doing wrong that's causing it, but I can see it. Maybe it's pumping. Maybe I shouldn't be pumping. I don't know. Alright, so I would normally safety save right here, but I'm not going to do that. So in the run, I will safety save right here. That's how you make it safe. Crap. I don't know what the fudge happened because I lost visual. My screen blacked out right at the trick. I don't even know if it blacked out on the capture card or not. It might have. I should have just hit pause after I exploded the bombs. The timing felt right, but maybe not. Not the way I was falling. That looks good. Crud. Oh, okay. That was my mistake. I'm trying to rush it. Take a deep breath, slow down. I don't need to rush it. Ugh, I'm not in position. That's what you want to see. Oh no, no, no! I don't know where the fudge I am. I'm lost. Okay, that's interesting. How do I recover from this scenario? There's my health. I can't swim. Not really. Hey, look, it's my person. Okay, well that's just gonna fail. Let's see what happens if I have health to survive this. I suspect I might as well reload. Yep. I don't know why that's happening. I'm supposed to be able to, like, cut off my momentum before I get too high. I need to spam paraglider. That's what I need to be doing. I need to be spamming paraglider to cut the momentum upward. I don't think I can spam it too early. Alright, see, now I have to worry about race rooms opening up. Alright. That was odd. That should have worked. Alright, the race time's open. really don't want to leave this undone. My thumb's in a very awkward place. No! No! I need to do this trick. I need to be successful at this trick at least once. This can't be the trick that burns my run. This can't do it. It can't be this one. Nine minutes. Isn't that like yeah, that's a crit. Maybe I won't have that during my run. It's not. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I keep thinking to myself, maybe I can just adjust for an incorrect visual cue. No, you can't adjust for an incorrect visual cue here. It doesn't work. If you try, it will fail. You know what? I'm okay with that. And unfortunately, this takes me to the old location, which is fine. I can do the old location. It unfortunately is a little more precise. You know, kind of like that. You're not going to get me this trick successfully before the run. I have 11 minutes before the race starts. 11 minutes. If I can't do this, this is going to be the one that, like, makes me freeze up. This is going to be the one that makes me tense so badly now. Like, I used to be comfortable with this, and now it's like, nope. And I swear, if I've lost this trick, I'm in trouble. Because there's no safety save around this. There's no easy way by this. That's not entirely true. There actually is a fairly easy backup. A little time consuming. But it effectively requires me to give up on the wind bomb altogether. That was odd. That should have done it. But once again, I'm rushing. No. There. That's not the right positioning. That felt right. Took me a little bit farther than I wanted, but I will take it. That's what happens. That's what I want to... Shoot. You gotta be kidding me. And honestly, this is what I should do. I should double back. This is the right move. That could have been a mistake. And I'm okay with that. If I overshoot like that, not a big deal. At least I feel a little bit comfortable for finally getting past this. Although it wasn't even clean. Alright. This is where the optional safety save is that I'm probably not going to do. Chances of me failing this are so low, it's just not worth it. I come in here, I set this up, yada. We aim, and in the pause, we're gonna safety save. That's the way this works. The bow didn't move the way I wanted it to, so this probably will fail. Well, it doesn't look much like a failure. Let me check Discord real quick. Oh yeah, it did fail. Look at that. Alright, I'm trying to see if ZSR is gonna be doing this, but I don't think it is. Dude, what are you doing? Naomi, stop. Just in case she's trying to do something. Yeah, I don't think that we're gonna have a ZSR tonight. So we'll keep with the layout. It'll be fun. It was not a perfect warm-up, which is good. That means I didn't burn my perfection. Alright, let's join race time and get her done. Actually, race time normally opens on my main monitor. Yeah, it's gonna open on my main monitor. Go ahead and join. Not a whole lot today. It's gonna be an interesting race. We got CBF, Tax Slayer, and I actually don't think I can pronounce that. Well, my friends, time to get ready. Naomi, set up any percent.
Any percent is ready to go.
Did she just say any percent for weak-willed losers? Because if that's what she said, I need to delete that option from her. Alright, so we are 5 minutes away from the start. Last qualifier possible. Either this will go well, or it will go bad. I'm surprised you can hear that. It must be bumping the cord. I apologize. As with Qualifier 2, I'm going to move the mic out of the way. At least you don't get to hear my heavy breathing while I'm, like, panicking. And then, yeah, I mean, see how it goes. Songs in the Race Time GG chat, so that's nice. Song of the Old Guard. Good times. Alright, what are we at now? 4 minutes and counting. I guess I should get set up, make sure there are no mistakes that happen in the race, excuse me. And, you know, hopefully this goes well. If any runners are watching me, which you probably aren't, but if you are, good luck, have fun. I hope it's a good race. And I will try my very, very best not to lose my ever-loving mind when things go wrong. Alright, moving the mic. Oh my goodness. Oh, knock the cord. I have no idea what it sounds like when... Go ahead and ready up, even though we still got 3 minutes left. What's the worst that can happen, guys? I mean, come on. Not like Shrine of Resurrection's gonna keep me out. This is gonna be the longest 2 minutes of my life. Pretty sure the room host starts the race. So, okay. The way that Race Time GG works is that negative 15 seconds is not what I set. That is what Race Time GG sets. So, you're going to actually see the countdown in my splits to the start. And I will see the countdown, and that's how I'll do it. So, fun stuff. Oh, song's starting it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I was counting out loud because I wanted to get like the soonest go I could possibly get. Well, here we go.
Svegliati. Svegliati. Quella è una tavoletta sceicca. Ti guiderà dopo il risveglio dal tuo luogo. Link. Link. Dirigiti al luogo segnato sulla mappa della tua tavoletta sceicca.
All right.
Arrived at bombs. Bombs complete. Arrived at Magnesis. Magnesis complete. Arrived at stasis. Stasis complete. Arrived at Cryonis.
Fine.
Cryonies complete.
Ooh.
Paraglider obtained. Castle reached.
long as I got the autosave, I'm okay with that. If I didn't get the autosave, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble if I didn't get the autosave. If I got the autosave, this is fine. In fact, I wanted to die. As long as I got the autosave. Come on. I don't know what autosave I got. You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Of truth, though. Yes. Oh boy, that could have been so bad. Save. Please, water, save me.
Castle Comlet.
No! 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 That's the wrong direction. Oh, please. Please do it anyway. Reload. Dang it. Fine. So it burns time from my food. I should have saved before eating. think that's 3 arrow range.
Lights defeated. Let's go. GG's. You're a game. OMFROFLG, holy cow. Congrats of finishing a run, almost.
Alright, so not gonna be a PB, but it will be a better time.
L'intero corpo di Ganon è pervaso da un rancore maligno. In questo stato è invulnerabile a qualsiasi attacco. Tenterò di contrastare questo rancore
Oh
maligno,
man,
ma non resisterò a lui. Tu
Castle
colpisci
really
dove
burned
devi.
me.
Buona fortuna, Link. È la tua occasione. Ganon si sta indebolendo.
Castle really burned me.
È il momento giusto. Funziona, in difficoltà. Colpisci dove brilla. Ancora, ancora un po'. Lo abbiamo quasi sconfitto. Link, guarda la sua testa. Quello è forza, Link. Adesso.
So that is a low 33 in real race time. I was really hoping to do better than that. I'm glad it was better. And plateau, amazing. Freakishly amazing. The castle burned me. Apparently blights burned me too. Oh, right, because I had to restart. I missed the freaking whatchamacallit. The wind blight skip. I'm surprised I was the first to finish though. Yeah, wind blight skip cost me a minute. I can't think of anything like other than wind blight skip that really cost me. So I think wind blight skip cost me a minute. I died in castle, so that was like 30 seconds. It's roughly 20. No, dying is roughly 30 seconds. So I lost 30 seconds to dying to the Zolfos, which sucked, but the autosave worked out, so that I'm okay with that. And then I failed the midair wind bomb, which caused a reload. The reload itself is 20 seconds on top of however long it took me to do the midair wind bomb. So that's probably where my what, minute and a half disappeared from. Maybe not even.
Ti ho osservato tutto questo tempo. Il tuo
But yeah,
destino,
castle ate all my time.
la tua sofferenza.
The fact, okay, so in real run time, I got to castle, or I got to castle at, let's see, -107, so that'd be 18,
Saresti riuscito a sconfiggere
about
la
1835, something like that, 1834.
battaglia.
In
Grazie.
1834, to put it in perspective, when I get to castle at an 1834, I am on pace for a 28, I believe. possibly just a 29. But I'm on pace for a 28 or a 29 race time. So I was cruising going into Castle. But I guess, I mean, what are you gonna do? Death to Lizalfos and the failed wind bomb ate a minute and a half. Maybe more than that, actually. But I got a 15 plateau. That was always my goal. I wanted to come out of one of these races with a 15 plateau, and I did it. Our plateau, so racetime.gg's time was a 16:39. Minus 1 minute and 7 seconds. That puts us at a 15:30 what? 2? 15:32. A 15:32. That's a fantastic time. So I came out of paraglider. Excuse me. I came out of plateau just amazing. Well, I mean, I could ask for more, but I'm not, like, I did better. Friday was not the end all, and that makes me happy. That I could improve going safe. And you know what, I'm probably going to do that from now on. I'm probably going to do the save strats on plateau. It reduces stress of the whole thing, for one. And if I can get out of plateau with a decent time, things are looking fairly good. Calamity was not great. Although according to this, I only lost like 10 seconds on Calamity. Not even lost 9 seconds on Calamity, so I guess you could argue Calamity was good. I'm supposed to be saving time on Calamity, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Alright, I'm gonna check, because I'm pretty sure I have homework due this week for college. And it's probably going to be another writing assignment, which is going to be a pain in the butt. Let me see what it is. I really, really wish I had gotten the 33 though. Kind of sad I didn't get the 33. In racetime.gg standpoint, if I had gotten the 33, that would have been a pretty decent improvement over my last run. But it is what it is. Alright, let's see what assignments are due. That was a pain to navigate through. It says March 24th. Oh, good, that's tomorrow. Let's get the actual schedule here. Alright. The deadline is tomorrow at midnight. Brief summary of the paper I've read, which answers the following questions. What were the central purpose? Methods used, proposed to accomplish. Results or findings, main claims. Do the strengths, do the weaknesses. How could it have been improved? I'll probably work on some of that tonight. We're still waiting on one runner. Tax Slayer. Which, I mean, it can be rough. But I bet you he'll do just fine. Oh, there we go! Nice! Tax Slayer beat my time from earlier this afternoon, so... GG's to him. Very cool. CBF may have lost to me today, but he's gonna kick my butt in the tournament. I know it's gonna happen. I know he's skilled. Everyone can hit the rough patch. Alright, so what I kind of wanted to do, and I don't know if this is going to work, I wanted to revisit the Sermon on the Mount from earlier today. There's a lot in Matthew chapter 5, and I was super quick going through it. So I think I'd really like to just see what I can do with it. My intent / plan is to actually bring it up here. And see if that actually happily works. It does, actually. Crazy as it sounds. That works really well. So that's what I'm going to do. And that way I can scroll. Yay! And not have the same mistakes as last time. Alright, so for those watching, I'm basically going to continue a Bible study I call Thief of the Night. So if you're not... If you don't want to hear any religious things, I say religious, feels so wrong to say, but if you don't want to hear anything about God, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for the support, any support you give, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. But for those who are going to stick around, I'm just going to talk my head off a little bit about some of this stuff, because I can. I kid. I know, this is totally, like, weird. Let me just turn these two off so it's not super weird. And I think we'll try to do the background we had last time, but we'll see how that works. At least I have the freaking window working now. You can see the text. It's amazing. Sure, why not? I had to pick someplace appropriate. Alright. I'm a little bit better informed this time. I'm going to pick something that's a little less in the sky. I mean, it's still in the sky, but you'll be able to see ground. And you're not just looking at clouds. So, yay, that. Hopefully I can get a decent scene going. I don't know, what do you think? That direction, towards the sun? It's probably fine. You know what? Fine. That's fine. Some good framing. That'll work. Alright. We do background, make it visible to read, sort of. I know it's really bright. Okay, so, last time we read through the Matthew 5, and I concentrated mostly on the fulfillment of the law, because I thought that was really important. It is important that the commands of God and Jesus are they're not null and void. They really aren't. And there's a whole different discussion I can have on that, on how, as a Christian, and as a Christian specifically, you should strive to follow all the commands of Jesus. However, you will fail. I will fail. I fail all the time. You'll never measure up. And that's kind of the point of this. Like, for heaven's sakes, he says, unless you have righteousness that surpasses the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, you will certainly not enter the kingdom of heaven. Now, you can debate whether the Pharisees and teachers of the law were really righteous or not, but the point is that their perception of righteousness was high. And they tried to follow the law to a T. How can, then, a commoner like me possibly measure up to somebody who spends their lives like the law is their life? You can't. You just can't. And this is something that Jesus will highlight throughout the Bible until he finally gets to that rich young ruler story that I talked about earlier today. So anyways, long story short, Jesus lived the perfect life and fulfilled the law. He died a sinner's death in our place, and then he basically switched lives with us. We have Jesus's life and his righteousness, and he has our sin. So if you follow him, that trade happens. And all you have to do for that is you bow your head and you pray and you say, Jesus, please come into my heart and forgive me of my sins. It's a confession of the fact that you're not perfect and a request for him to forgive you. The Bible says in one of the letters of the apostles, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that he died for your sins, you will be saved. And so this is kind of highlighting, Jesus is trying to highlight how impossible it is to measure up. Because you have to admit that before you can turn to him. But anyways, that's that little spiel. I went on with that a little earlier. So I do want to talk about the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes can effectively be summed up as this. You should seek peace with others. You would be blessed if you sought peace with others and you humbled yourself. If you were not prideful in your actions, prideful in your attitudes, prideful in how you treat each other, but instead humble yourself, seek Jesus in righteousness and show mercy, then you will be blessed. And that's what this is saying. Now there are some other things in here, such as blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of the heaven. People who are downcast, man. Those are the people who really are willing to see the Lord as the people who are in the holes. And so that's kind of what that's saying. Like, if you are downcast or downtrodden, don't fear, because Jesus is there for you. That's who he came to earth for. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. God, Jesus, will comfort you, but so will your friends. Blessed are the meek. There goes that humble attitude. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, if you pursue Jesus. Blessed are the merciful, those who forgive easily. Blessed are the pure in heart, people who don't have deceit, people who aren't trying to manipulate. Blessed are the peacemakers, again, trying to make peace and forgive and have just a better world. Blessed are the persecuted, which basically says, yes, if you are a Christian in this life, people are going to come at you. And instead of fighting back, you should love your enemy. And we'll see that later. And patiently endure persecution, and you will be blessed. And I think that's a real problem in today's culture. People don't want to endure persecution, at least not in the Western culture. No, they want to fight back, and that causes stuff. This stuff. Salt of the earth, light of the world. You are the seasoning. You are the source. From you as a Christian who has Jesus, you bring light into the world and shine it for others to find. We talked about fulfillment of the law. And then we go into these supposedly reinterpretations of the law, but they're not reinterpretations. The central theme is that sin starts in the mind. When you're working to try and keep yourself from sinning, which you will fail. I have failed. I continue to fail. It's going to happen. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't stop trying. So when you try to prevent yourself from sinning, you realize that it starts in the mind. If you think about something, especially something that tempts you, it's going to start festering. And that festering is then what might lead to action. And so he addresses that. By reinterpreting, which isn't really a reinterpretation, it's an extension of certain rules. Rules, laws, whatever you want to call them. You shall not murder. But I tell you, anyone who is angry with his brother or sister will be subject to judgment. That's not to say that if you're mad at somebody, you're going to be judged by God. What it is to say is that if you are like truly angry and vengeful at somebody, unrepentantly so, if you tell yourself, well, I'm justified in my anger at this person, that's what this is talking about. If you say raha, which is raka raha, I don't actually know. If you sign of contempt, if you call somebody a fool, those are all negative things. If you are being negative or downright like hostile to your brother or sister, which who is your brother? You see that later on the Bible, it says, who is my brother? And Jesus says, the least of these. Which, while you can interpret as, the downtrodden, the homeless, the poor, you can also interpret that as everybody. Everybody, your neighbor, is your brother. And so there's that kind of love piercing through some of these really harsh words, really, really strong words that Jesus is saying. You can see Jesus' heart kind of pierce through in what he's teaching. The answer is love. Love your neighbor. Therefore, if you're angry with somebody, instead of worshiping God, put it aside. Run to your neighbor, make amends. It's better to worship God without a grudge against your neighbor than to hold on to it, because the holding on to that grudge is going to taint your worship. It really will. It'll create that wall between you and God. And one of the goals that God wanted, particularly with sending Jesus, is to have a relationship. And so long as you have sin that you're unrepentant about, if you have grudges you're unrepentant about, there's going to be that wall there. And you're going to have a hard time bridging that wall. You're going to have a hard time feeling God's presence because the wall will be there. So get rid of the wall. Go reconcile with your brother. And if they're not willing to reconcile, forgive them. And let it be. We also talk about adultery. This is, you could take this literally. If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. But you shouldn't. I don't think, Jesus' point is that, yes, it's better to go to the kingdom of heaven with one eye than be condemned to hell. But again, Jesus redeems us. So because of Jesus' redemption, you don't have to gouge your eye out. He'll forgive you for your sin. But at the same time, sin starts in the mind. But I tell you, anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery. Sin starts in your mind. It is better to get rid of the things that tempt you. That's what this I statement is about. It's better to get rid of the things that tempt you if you do not need them. I'm going to go ahead and say if you do not need them. That's not what Jesus is saying, but I'm saying it. If you do not absolutely need them, it's better to get rid of it than to have it constantly be there, stoking the fire of temptation within you. Divorce. Divorce, this is a very interesting one to me because it's logical. This whole statement effectively says, in God's eyes, divorce doesn't exist. Now, there were certificates of divorce that's codified in the Jewish law and the law of Moses. However, Jesus says later on, I'm not exactly sure where, but he says that that was made because we knew people were weak. But the reality is, marriage starts when you consummate the marriage, which is sex. And marriage doesn't end after that. But even if you don't consider, even if you think that's extreme, that marriage starts at the consummation, even if it starts at the oath, still, the ultimate thing we're saying here is that marriage doesn't end. So the whole idea of divorce doesn't exist in God's eyes. It's a man thing. It's a thing for man. So he's saying that anyone that divorces his wife except for sexual immorality, that's important, divorces his wife except for sexual immorality, makes her a victim of adultery. Why? Well, if another man marries that wife, has sex with her, she commits adultery. Why? Because divorce doesn't exist. And anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Same thing. Divorce doesn't exist in God's eyes. Therefore, it is adultery. Again, we're all sinners. We're all going to fail. If you try to measure up, you won't. So the lesson, at least for Christians, for people who are forgiven by Jesus, the lesson here is this. Unless someone has cheated on you, aka sexual immorality, divorce really shouldn't be an option. Now, I understand there's abuse and things like that, and I think that's covered under like this. It's not really sexual immorality, but I think God understands that you should not be in an abusive relationship. But only sex breaks the covenant between a man and his wife. Now, you could say, well, I've gotten divorced. Does that mean I'm committing adultery every time I am with my new wife? That's no. And here's the reason why. The first time is adultery, according to this statement. The first time is adultery because of this statement, right? Because divorce doesn't exist. Well, once you've committed adultery, well, guess what? Sexual immorality. That sexual immorality breaks the covenant of marriage. And so you've sinned, yes, but then I don't want to say you're free to enter into a new covenant, but it's not like it's a repetitive sin. You don't have to get rid of your second wife or second husband because of this statement. It's more of you need to acknowledge that you sinned when you divorced and remarried. Now, it's all hard stuff. I reiterate, you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, He forgives you of your sins. You're clean. So I wouldn't say it doesn't matter. It's more of something, it's for looking forward, not looking back. We'll put it that way. Look forward, not back. And you're going to see that over and over. That's whenever Jesus makes rules, commands, it's about forward. And you see there, a good example, the woman, even people who aren't Christian have probably heard this, but the woman who did commit adultery was brought to Jesus by the Pharisees, the teachers of the law, and they were trying to trap him. And he said, this woman was caught in adultery. Should we stone her? And Jesus stood up and he said, yes, but let whoever has not sinned cast the first stone. And nobody could. Now, the important part of the reason I bring up the story is because what Jesus tells the woman. He says, does anyone condemn you? She says, no. And he says, neither do I. Go and sin no more. He forgives her. And this is what he does for us. He forgives us and then tells us to go and sin no more. Look forward, not back. Ask for forgiveness for what's behind you and work to what you can do ahead of you. Oaths. This is just kind of like a simple philosophy. You don't need to. You should be a person who doesn't need to swear. You shouldn't need to promises. You don't need to make promises. You should strive to be the type of person. I should strive to be the type of person that when I say yes, I keep yes, and when I say no, I keep no. Another translation, I thought it was NIV, but I guess not. Verse 37 says, "Let your yes be yes and your no be no." And that should be enough. You shouldn't have to make oaths. You shouldn't have to swear on something. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. This is about mercy. It's about forgiveness. But more importantly, there's a particular verse here. When I was in high school, I was really in the word of the Lord when I was in high school. I grew a lot there, and I've been struggling to kind of meet that, and that's been a struggle for me because I struggle to read the Bible every night. I struggle to pray every night, and it's something I'm working on. But when I was in high school, I tried to show people, because people, they knew I was Christian. I carried my Bible around. It was just kind of that thing. They came up to me and they tried to tell me and justify their actions by eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. It's in the Bible. I'm like, no. Jesus said, not eye for eye, tooth for tooth, but instead, do not resist. If someone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. I quoted that, and they tried to turn the words. Oh, you turn it to them, not for them to slap you, but to turn away from them or whatever. No, what Jesus is saying is, if someone wants to take advantage of you, it sucks, but you should patiently endure it with forgiveness and love. And now that doesn't mean you walk into situations where you get taken advantage of. No, you shouldn't do that. But if someone's going to hit you, don't respond. Don't retaliate. Forgive them. If that means they're going to hit you again, then they're going to hit you again. And in the future, maybe avoid that guy. But you know what I mean? It's about forgiveness. It's about patience. It's about endurance. And it says likewise, if someone forces you to go 1 mile, go the extra mile. You hear that all the time in sports, but this is more about someone making you do it. Don't do it grudgingly. To be like, okay, you're gonna make me do this. Let's go all the way. Let's just freaking do it. And then you get to love your enemies, which I talked about earlier, but this is the important one. Love your enemy, because that's what sets a Christian apart. When people think Christian, they shouldn't be thinking rules and regulations. We talked about rules, but those rules are for the Christians. You could argue they're for everyone, but you're a sinner from the get-go. So if you don't have Jesus, whether you're doing the rules or not, you've missed it somewhere. Heck, even just rejecting Jesus is a sin. So the rules here are for those who've been forgiven and are striving to be better. And those are Christians. Now, I'm not saying nobody, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying nobody is striving to be better. There are plenty of people, plenty of really good people striving to be better. This lesson is targeted for the followers of Jesus who want to be more like him. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I hope that was helpful. Meant something. If you want to check out Jesus, open a Bible. And don't start from Genesis. Genesis is relevant, don't get me wrong. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, those are all very important. But even I, when I was in the height of my, on fire for God, in high school, I couldn't get through Numbers, the book of Numbers, which comes after Leviticus, I think. It was too rote. It's not to mean it's not important, but anyways, if you're curious about Jesus, Matthew, the first book of the New Testament, is a fantastic place. Listen to what Jesus said. Try to understand his point. And if you can do that, you will see that the point of Jesus is that he does the hard work so that we don't have to worry about it. Yes, we should still strive to meet the rules and the commands, but there's a reason for that. And it's not out of obligation. It's out of love. The greatest commandment: love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and mind and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. All of the law and the prophets can be summed up in these two commands. That last part is a paraphrase. I don't have it perfectly memorized. Mark 12:30 and 31. Check it out. That is the core. That's the thesis of Jesus. He came here to fulfill the law, to die a sinner's death. So if we choose him, he can switch places with us. That's the point. All right, I'm going to close out in prayer. If you stuck around to watch, thank you. I hope you have a fantastic night. And we'll work on my homework. All right. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. For me personally, it was a little bit hard. Children, being children, getting a little antsy, tired. But you helped me endure, so thank you. But Lord, I pray for anyone who's watching, anyone who even considered watching. I pray that your Spirit will rest on them. If they have you, Lord, let them feel your presence. Show them whatever you need to show them to help them grow. And for those who may not have you, Jesus, I pray that you will knock on the door to their heart like you knocked on mine. And honestly, I really hope they answer. Because it's a dangerous time. It seems like you are ruling, but what's ruling today is rules, not you, not Jesus. And I hope there are people who can understand that and understand who you are, that you're here to give us rest, not to give us rules. Lord, let us have a good night with a good night's sleep. And I pray that we have a great day tomorrow, Monday. First day of the week. Let's get her done. I love you, God. And I thank you for all that you do for us. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. All right. I'm going to do what I didn't do yesterday. I'm going to raid somebody. Hopefully they aren't offended. I know some people can be a little not that sounds bad. I don't mean it like that. I don't know. Some people feel like if they're raided by a particular ideology that they don't like, that they're endorsing it. But it's whatever. But first, let me get rid of advertisers. Oh, I'm not logged in. Whatever. Guess I get a free ride today. Alright, who's on? Anyone I should raid today? Player 5. Definitely player 5. So we're going to raid player 5 today. Let me... Gosh, Nikes. I have to get to my chat through Twitch. Hopefully they don't... Twitch. They don't do that. I don't know if... Is it ban? Oh, it is ban. Okay. There we go. Okay, slash raid player 5. He's a cool guy, world record holder. Definitely a treat to watch. So, say hi to player 5, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you.